Greetings, guys. This is Bill Cavan, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the shot breakdown sheet. As you can see here, I've got a completed sheet for this scene. This is just done for just a little quick shoot we did just to test out the camera and everything a while ago. The scene kind of looked something like this. But I'm just going to kind of walk you through what you need to look at, what you need to remember, and what you need to pull into creating the sheet. You really should have a breakdown sheet for every single scene in your piece. I know I kind of slowed down there a little bit, but it's really important. This is the pre-production phase. This is where you're going to make sure that when you get on set, you have everything you need and everything goes the way that it needs to. If we skip these steps, that's when we run into problems. So let's take a quick look at this and how to fill it out. Okay, I've got a little quick excerpt here from the script. Now, guys, this is a really simple scene. Remember, not every scene is going to have 100 stunts in it. Not every scene is going to have explosions, transformers jumping around. Not everything is Michael Bay. But the same token, we have people in it, and we have things that need to happen. So let's go ahead and look at this. As you can see, it's filled out. Part of it's filled out well, but we're just going to go ahead and go on to the next page and just run right through the whole thing with you, just on a once through, just so you get what's going on. Okay. Now this is scene 3. Okay. This is shot A. The title of this is Space Station 1. Okay. Now the time period, this is in the near future. So we're going to write near future. Okay. What season is it? Well, it's in the summer. Okay. And this is a day shot. Notice it says Space Station Engineering Bay Day. That's where we are. Okay. The cast, that's your red color over here. Our cast, we've got one guy in the scene, and his name is Sam. So we're going to want to put that in there. That way, when you guys go to catalog who needs to be there later on, you don't have to pick up a script and start going, what needs to be in here? You've got it down. Okay. We don't have any bit parts here. There's nobody just stepping in and out. We don't have any extras. It's just Sam. Okay. Any special effects or construction pieces that we should make a note of? We should probably make a note that there's a mess of wires and maybe loose panels. Just so then that way, if anybody comes back through, it'll help out a little bit. Now we're getting into a little bit about the camera. So we're talking about the camera height. How many feet off the ground do you want that camera? If you know it already, fantastic. Go ahead and put it in there. We actually already shot this, so I kind of know about how the height was. But when I originally determined where I wanted this, I put the camera height at about 5 feet. I wanted to have a little bit of looking up at my subject, but not enough that it would put him into too much of a hero shot. Now, I didn't know exactly what my focal length was going to be when I went to shoot this. I had an idea, but I wasn't positive. But I did know that I wanted a medium shot, or an MS. Okay. Now, shot before, we're looking at what was shot before this. Before this, we actually shot scene 2F, and after this, rather than shooting in the actual order that we were going through, I mean, we didn't exactly stick to the script. If you notice over here, now we're at Space Station Bridge. We actually shot the next scene that was in here, and that was actually 8A. There's no actual real props in this. Like, if you look over here, Sam doesn't, pull out a screwdriver and start fixing things. There's not a wild dog that runs through. So we don't need to put any of that kind of stuff down. But just to make sure that I've looked at it and somebody's looked at it later on, I like to put NA for not applicable. Just so then that way we're good to go. Okay. Now we have setup number. What setup is this? How many setups have you done so far? How many setups for this scene? Okay, and this was setup 1. Location, this was on the soundstage. Okay, now the sequence. When we're talking about the sequence, we're talking about our slug line right here. We're talking about where is this going on and in relation to other ones that could be shot at the same time. Because remember, this is a shooting breakdown, not a linear breakdown of what's going on. Like I said before, we shot 8A right afterwards, so we could have entered into the sequence 3A, 8A, etc. Space, station, engineering, bay, day. And if you guys notice, interior. Just so then that way it's got everything covered like it should. Okay. Now, total script pages. This is right about an eighth of a page. So I'm going to put in 1/8, which now brings us down to our camera setup. Brief description of what you got going on with the camera. Okay. And it's going to be just under eye line. Follow to mark, because in this scene he walks in, he comes in through a doorway and then he goes up to there, and we're just going to pan just a little bit to follow him. So now everybody's going to do this description up here a little bit differently, because this is a written out paragraph or a couple of bullet points. It's something just to get the camera crew, to get the cinematographer a good idea of what's going on and what they need to do. Okay. Right here we've got the section for the lighting and camera diagram. I'm going to go ahead and grab the old lighting plot here. I'll pop it open real quick just to show you guys something. Okay. Looking at this lighting plot, you can see I've got a lighting plot here, but I actually also did an elevation real quick. I did the elevation only because when I was explaining to my gaffer and the other people that I was working with, I needed a certain placement of these. So I created a separate part of the drawing for that. This is acceptable, because between the two, you guys now know exactly where these four 4-foot fluorescent bulbs are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, I'm going to drag it around here and drop it. Now notice how it's really big. Okay, I'm sure you guys have run into this a million times with this. I'm just going to go ahead and resize it down so it'll fit in the area. Okay. Now I'm going to actually just go ahead and delete this part back here so we don't have too many things going on in the background. Get it to fit in that nice little area where it was before. Take a second, make it look pretty. Remember, people are going to be looking at this, so you want it to look as good as possible. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for the storyboard. Now, I always got this question a lot, even from students farther in the program, and just so you guys know, as long as your storyboard gets across the shot you're looking for, it works. This is a really rough drawing. I threw it together in Illustrator. I used nothing more than the pen tool to make the background real quick, and then I used the circular tool just to go and make a bunch of circles. It's really quick. You guys can do the same thing. Looking at this, you'd know what we're looking for. Once again, I'm going to drag and drop it in, and we're going to need to resize it down. Now, storyboard shot number. Sometimes when you're storyboarding, you end up with more shots or more storyboard pieces than you do the scenes. For this one, this was storyboard 3A 2. And down here is for any special notes. Don't really have any special notes that I want to do, so I'm going to go ahead and do the NA again, so it's not applicable. That way everybody knows what we're looking at, and the fact that yes, somebody has gone through here and looked at it and a decision was made. Okay. Okay, guys. Really is that simple. We're just trying to make sure that everything gets set up the way that it should and everything looks pretty. So if you have any questions, contact us, email us, call our office phone, leave a message. Thank you and have a great one.